Happy Tuesday. Today I'm here with my guy Mikey Hybridson. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
We're here to talk about an important topic is momentum. And momentum is so important in this business. It can either be your biggest help and your biggest propeller forward, or it can be your largest enemy and your biggest detriment, depending on how you treat it. Because I can tell you guys, like when I was brand new, when I didn't have momentum or I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do and wasn't showing up, wasn't putting in the work as hard as I should have, it's hard. And it's hard to get that momentum and get into the swing of things. But man, like when you're having a good week and you're making sales and you're helping families and you're starting to click and you're starting to figure it out, the worst thing you can do is think, oh, like I worked hard this week. I deserve a day off. I deserve to take it easy. That's the worst thing you can do, because you take that day off and then you lose your momentum and then it's just a roller coaster ride. And a lot of you guys have heard, like one of the first things I was told in sales, and one of the most important aspects about this industry and sales in general, is staying right here. Just stay right here. Don't get super high. Don't ride the highs, and don't ride the lows. So, Mikey, you're somebody, you came into this, and you were playing college ball. You were in college, so you kind of joined, and you didn't have the right amount of time and dedication that it required to get into this business. So you had a little bit of a slower start and you didn't have a lot of momentum coming in. But man, looking at you now, it's so cool to see, because you're in the office with, you guys are just the trio. You guys are always locked in, showing up, and you got some serious heat. Share with us a few tips of agents watching this as to not only why momentum is so important, but if they don't have momentum currently, how they can gain momentum in their business.
So I'll start with, if you don't have any momentum currently, the biggest thing is just picking up the phone, no matter how heavy it is.
Yep.
Once you take your foot off the gas, the phone only gets heavier and heavier the longer that you spend away from the game. It's really just starting, getting that first day of 300 dials in, to be honest. Like if you really want to pick up the momentum again, just get back on the phones, lock in for a day, and just put in the work, and you'll realize by the first hour, second hour in, it's way easier than what you thought. I feel like everyone just gets in a headspace of where this feels impossible. It's a lot harder than you think it is. Or you might remember like some bad days that you had on the phone. Maybe you got yelled at or someone, I don't know.
Analysis by paralysis.
Yeah, like you get in a headspace where it's like, this feels impossible. And so you just need to get over that by just doing it, essentially.
Share a story about that where first time I went skydiving, the scariest part is when you're going up in the airplane. And you got to go up, like you go up quite a ways. Like you're flying for a solid 15 minutes in that airplane, solid 20 minutes. Like you just keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and they open the door and the wind's blowing and you're starting to question everything, and you're like, maybe like, and then you're kind of like, your heart starts beating, and then like you start itching forward, and then you look down and just everybody, like you can't even see people and their little ants, and then you jump out and then you're falling, and it's awesome. And then when you're actually falling through the air and you're skydiving, it's like, dude, this is really cool. And then you pull the parachute and you slowly parachute down, and you're just chilling and gliding. But the scariest part is just that moment before you jump in. Or if you've been on a roller coaster, what's the worst part of a roller coaster? Going up. When you're actually going down, it's fun and you're enjoying it. You might have that like little pit in your stomach for the first 0.5 seconds. You're like really going down. But then after that, it's like, oh dude, I'm so glad I did that. Same thing with this business. The hardest part is just simply making that first dial and getting started. And also, one thing that helped me, you may relate with this or you may not, but just treating it like it's a game.
Oh, 100%.
Because if you take this business too seriously, you'll just psych yourself out. So for that first dial of the day, maybe don't even take it seriously, or maybe don't even try. Just, hey John, you looking for life insurance today? You want a life insurance quote? Hey John, how you doing? Good, I'm having a great day, man. Yep, calling you about life insurance. You want life insurance? Okay, have a good day. It's just, or whatever, just say something silly just to like get those jitters out of the way, so then you can actually focus on what you need to do.
Yeah, I can't relate to skydiving or anything like that, but I've gone cliff jumping. Like the first time you're going off, like you go up, it's terrifying. It looks, so far down. I think the highest one I jumped off of was like 50 feet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty big. And the first time I jumped, honestly, I didn't know if I was gonna make it out far enough. But after I hit the water, it felt pretty good. But like once you jump, like the first time, it's really scary. It's really anxiety inducing. Like your knees are weak. Your stomach feels like it's in a pit. But afterwards, I was like, I want to do that again. It's like, it's kind of the same way. You get in, you take that leap, and then once you make that sale, it's it's addicting. You want to do it again. That's kind of where the game part comes in. It's like you take your first shot in the game, maybe you feel cold, let's say basketball, and then it goes in, it's like, all right, another one, made it, and now you're just doing heat checks all day.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of like getting in the flow state. Once you close one, as long as you get right back on the phones again, I feel like the worst thing that you can do in a day is get a sale and then hop off the phones and like go eat lunch or something like that. Like, no, if you get a sale, get right back into it. You're already in the mode, you're already in the flow state. You can go and get like 2 or 3 more and then maybe take a break. Like maybe you get shit on like on the last one. You're like, all right, give me a second.
Yep.
And then just get right back in the groove.
1000%. Yeah. Worst thing you can do is let your foot off the gas when you're starting to see success. And for me, bro, I was so bad when I first started, and it took me a while to get good at this and make consistent sales. So by the time I finally was producing and started seeing success, to be honest with you, I was just terrified. I was terrified to let my foot off the gas because I didn't want to lose the momentum.
Yeah.
And you use that as energy and it propels you forward. And it's like what you said, like you get that sale, all right, the next one comes that much easier and that much easier and that much easier. And you look your head up and it's already 9-10 o'clock at night and you're at 5-10 grand AP for the day. And the day flew by like that, and you were genuinely having fun and just helping families while you're doing it. All right, Mikey. Well, in closing, what are your final thoughts on new agents that don't have momentum right now, how they can gain momentum within their business?
I think you do what Henry did, where it's like you make a bet with your upline. This is kind of extreme. Henry said if you didn't show up, what was it, 8 to 8?
8 to 8.
90 days
90
straight,
days straight.
You had to get a tattoo of the agency logo. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that, but I say you set something like that where it's like 90 days straight, 12 hours a day. You got to be in the office. You got to put in the dials. Like kind of light a fire under yourself, you know, kind of hold yourself accountable with a little bit of an extra risk or incentive or something like that. Did he gain anything if he did complete it, or was it just like if he doesn't?
If he doesn't. Actually, no, I think no. We said we were gonna take him to Maple and Ash, get him a nice steak dinner.
Okay.
So he did have something to get.
Yeah, so work something out with your upline, something like that. Have a conversation, set a standard, set a goal, and that'll really help you. I mean, afterwards he was closing like 20-30K months consistently.
Oh, he was a million times better on the phones. So yeah. He went after putting in those 90 days. It was a 9-day difference. Cannot recommend that enough. You gain momentum. To put it simply, you gain momentum by putting in the work. And what's funny is Henry actually lost that bet.
He did.
So you got a prosper tat right there. So next time we see Henry, ask him to see his prosper tattoo. That looks good. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you have a blessed rest of your week. If you took value from this video, like, subscribe, and share it with someone else that would find value. Peace.